Hello and welcome to Atop the Fourth Wall, where bad comics burn. Let's get 2022 off to a good start by finishing off Ultimate Power, which I started reviewing in 2015. And wow, looking back, that first episode was 27 minutes long, and not even storyline at the beginning or end of it. I actually managed to fill a good chunk of time just reviewing it. Mainly because I also covered 2 issues of it at once. And that's been the recurring theme of Ultimate Power, hasn't it? How little content there actually is in this stupid miniseries. 9 issues is a bit on the long side for a limited series and usually means something epic in scope. Not as big as a full 12, of course, but it's really sad that with 3 or more issues than the average full miniseries, it feels like nothing has happened, that we're still stuck on the first or second plot point. Then again, it's probably hard to tell that anything has changed considering Greg Land is still repeating the same faces and poses. It's easy to believe we're frozen in time and not going anywhere. I think it's important to break down a little more why Greg Land's artwork is so frustrating and bad. It's not just that he traces. Tracing is a good tool for developing skills, and there are people who are able to recreate an image using a photo or the like for references, and arguably, tracing is what makes such cool artistic concepts like rotoscoping so awesome in many pieces of art. No, the problem is that he's so goddamn lazy about it. Instead of using a pose as a baseline or having constant new photographs and models to draw from, he just reuses the same things over and over and over and over. There's no originality to it, no craft in making that artwork unique in its own right and consistent across the characters' faces or poses for decent sequential storytelling. He was using the same reference pictures for years, might still be for all I know. The reason why people will overlay the same poses that he's happy to reuse, but for radically different characters, is to show that in terms of his artwork, everyone is just a cookie cutter shape. See the same facial expression from 6 different people in the same comic. What makes these characters unique, that differentiates one from another, is absent. Everyone might as well just be a blank outline, because it doesn't matter with the way he traces. And it's made even worse in that in some cases, he doesn't even own the rights to the images he's traced. Again, it'd be different if he actually had models and photographs that he took and worked from, but nope! And then he goes into outright theft by stealing from other artists. It's still happening recently, too. In 2020, it was called out by Tristan Jones that artwork for Aliens that Land did for the Aliens Omnibus had a bunch of lifts from his own Aliens work. It's just incredibly scummy and lazy. I am baffled as to why he is still so frequently employed by Marvel. Just outright plagiarism. But hey, art is only half of why Ultimate Power is so bad. There's also its terrible writing from 3 normally much better writers who clearly were not giving it their all. So, let's recap. Last time on Ultimate Power, Nick Fury revealed that he purposely tampered with Reed Richards' probes with the help of Dr. Doom so that information would be transmitted to S.H.I.E.L.D. first before going to the Baxter Building. He had no reason to do this other than to be a villain in the story. Quicksilver convinced Scarlet Witch to try to use her powers to deal with the Supreme Power Squadron, but instead her chaos magic ended up summoning the Squadron Supreme that interacts with the main Marvel Universe, linked to the Supreme Power ones so that they're all talking in stereo. Fury, to compound his stupid evil plans, not only brought Dr. Doom along on this trip, but the Hulk as well, unleashing him upon all the heroes to force them all to join up against a common foe. Also, Dr. Doom was a Doombot this whole time in an attempt to maintain continuity with other events in the Ultimate Universe that were going on at the time. Long story short, Dr. Doom was actually in the zombie universe, and the one running around in Ultimatum was actually Sue and Johnny Storm's mom, I guess. And then the Thing killed her in Ultimatum. The Ultimate Universe got really dumb the longer it lasted. So now we've got Spider-Man riding the Hulk down into the fray, his purpose to keep the Hulk from eating people because the Ultimate Universe's writers apparently thought cannibalism was the height of storytelling. Or maybe they liked how successful Marvel Zombies had been and thought that the eating people thing was what the audience wanted. Let's dig into Ultimate Power number 9 and finally end this garbage. I know I shouldn't talk about the cover, what with this being a trade, but I do love how one of Land's generic woman smiling in an Herbal Essences commercial faces here looks like it's actually being noticed by the Scarlet Witch, who's all, "The hell is your deal?" We open with the Hulk attacking the Aquaman stand-in, the Amphibian, as well as Nighthawk. "Hulk, put that man down! You don't know where he's been! Hulk, squish fishies! No, Hulk! Fish doesn't need to be tenderized! You're ruining the meat!" Oh boy, gotta say, Fury's plan, as idiotic as it sounded, has them all fighting the Hulk instead of each other. Now if I can just keep Mr. Monsterface from eating them... It's so funny that the Hulk is a cannibal in this universe. How did the Ultimate Universe last for so long? Quicksilver and the two Squadron speedsters attempt to do a bunch of fast punches on him to no effect. The Skrullian Skymaster, who is apparently the Martian Manhunter equivalent in Squadron Supreme, contacts Quicksilver to rally the teams and devise a plan to take down the Hulk, while the Scarlet Witch works with the two Arcanas to try to send the one team back to their own universe. Skrullian Skymaster shapeshifts into the Hulk to take him on in another unnecessary two-page spread. It's efficient. Land can just mirror the face he copies for the Hulk, and he has one less page he has to draw. Hulk beats him down until he reverts back to his default form. "Now you don't look like Hulk, you look like dinner! Hulk really embrace raw food diet!" And splash page for this. And in case you're wondering, yeah, there are quite a few more of them coming up. Hope you got your money's worth, audience. 90% of the issue is already just a fight scene, but it's not even a very interesting fight scene. The heroes are pouring it on as Hulk just banters, and I suddenly realized, is he just putting on an act? Because at the end of the last issue where they airdropped him, he seemed to be in his own right mind with the "this ought to be good" remark. But this entire fight, he's been all Hulk smash and whatnot. Anyway, Johnny Storm tries his fire on him. However, Hulk just uses his super breath to blow out the fire, and I guess knocks him unconscious, since in the next panel, Spidey is saving an unconscious Johnny Storm. "Downside of raw food diet, Hulk's breath really bad. Hulk, make a wish!" I'm making one too, that this comic will be over soon. And I'm technically getting my wish. We're already halfway through it. All the heavy hitters, Thor, the Hyperions, and Storm, blast Hulk, and this is one of the better two-page spreads because of that, seeing just a massive outpouring of energy and lightning. But it also kind of works against it, since the heroes casting these attacks are tiny and unimpressive, and most of the shot is taken up by either Hulk's body or a lot of lightning effects. Just saying, you could have at least made Storm and Thor's lightning look different. Also, I guess this comic is a turn-based RPG because characters keep launching attacks at him and then stopping so that someone else can have their go at it. Like that huge blast? Well, they need to rest off panel. Same for Dr. Spectrums and the Power Princesses. At least we saw Johnny Storm get knocked out. Well, actually we didn't, but we did see Hulk blow the flames back, so at least we have something of an idea of why he's not still attacking. And now it's the Thing's turn. "This whole blasted thing started 'cause of me. My pal Reed went looking for a cure to return me to my old bashful self, and wound up messing with this whole friggin' planet. And yet you're barely a character in this story. Weird, isn't it? The least I could do is keep you from making it worse." Unfortunately, it turns out that beam he was using for a club was a load-bearing one for the Lincoln Memorial. Land really loves this one Thing face where the guy looks like an open-mouthed bass at all times. "You may think you're stronger than me, and maybe you are, but I got something you ain't never gonna have. Heart!" Man, where's our Captain Planet reboot with Ben Grimm as Mati? "Ha! Hulk, eat Thing's heart!" You know, this whole situation could have been resolved in like a minute if any of you had packed some Hostess fruit pies. Anyway, Sue Storm tells Spidey to blind the Hulk. Who said that? Whoa! Hello, Betty. It's Sue. Sorry, it's just I've seen that face before on another woman during this story. Are you actually flirting with me? What? Who? Me? What? Dude, you spent this entire issue being worried about the Hulk eating people, and now when he's engaged in battle with someone that could very well end with that, you're catcalling the Invisible Woman. When she's not dressed any differently than any of the other women you've been on this trip with. Including your girlfriend! Anyway, he uses his webbing to blind him, making this sound effect.
Sploosh.
And Sue makes a force field around his head so that he can't breathe, allowing the Thing to finally knock him out. And the Hulk's just laying in the rubble with the Thing standing over him for another splash page, followed immediately by a 2-page spread of the Scarlet Witch returning the Squadrons Supreme to their respective universes. The Ultimates and Squadron Supreme agree to stop hitting each other, particularly when Spidey reveals to them that it was all Nick Fury's machinations. Fury brought in Doom. Who knows who else he dealt with? The Schemer? The Schemer? That's your go-to insult for him? Why stop there? Go for nefarious and dastardly while you're at it, dude. Oh, that Parker kid is dead. Did you think he wasn't going to tell them? Why? However, Kitty Pryde remained on board per Peter's suggestion to keep an eye on Fury, and she, along with the Squadron Supreme member The Shape, are quickly able to subdue him. Fury is brought down to the others, and he demands to be freed. Gentlemen, you're making an enormous mistake. You take me out of the equation, and you take away the safety valve. There are things, secret things you know nothing about. Do not do this. I've demonstrated multiple times now that I am untrustworthy and will happily contribute to the undoing of a world just to be super secretive and dangerous. You should totally take me at my word. The Ultimates surrender Fury to the Squadron Supreme, Reed Richards soon arriving with Emil Burbank to explain his part in all this, how he worked with Fury to set this up, for reasons that I'm still not clear on. You can't do this to me! My planet needs me to protect it from all of you! I can best protect it by unleashing a biomass that kills millions! I'm the real good guy here, and I think I'm owed an apology. Written in lorem ipsum at that. Hyperion wants to know what assurances can be made that something like this won't happen again, and Power Princess volunteers to return to the Ultimate Universe to keep an eye on things. And we get a splash page of Hyperion and her making out, probably traced from porn. And if it wasn't, then what the hell was Hyperion doing lifting her leg like that? Later, at S.H.I.E.L.D. headquarters, Captain America wonders about the Scarlet Witch's powers, how she was able to pull an entire group of superpowered individuals from another universe. It's kinda hot. If she wasn't so into her brother, I'd take a swing at her. And then probably miss, cause I'm like 3 martinis to the wind at this point. You're such a jackass. Yeah, I know. I mean, pretty much everyone here is. You just kinda get used to it. Back over to the Fantastic Four, we learn that the event that incited this whole story, the Thing losing a chunk of his orange rock skin, no longer matters, as the area that was chipped off is now growing back. Reed once again promises Ben that they'll find a way to fix him, and so our comic ends with the Thing telling him to not make that promise, since the last time that he did so, he screwed this all up and almost destroyed a world. And he silently cries as he looks at a photo of himself and Reed from before he was changed. Wow. A sad moment and a reminder of the tragedy that is the Thing. It's a pity that it has nothing to do with anything in this story. This comic sucks! God, what an enormous waste of time this miniseries was. Like, the only real narrative purpose I can think of is to take Nick Fury out of the action for Ultimatum, but there was really no need to do so anyway, because they just went and got him for the conclusion. And despite this whole thing starting because of the desire to help Ben Grimm, it's left completely unresolved. Like I just said, it has nothing to do with anything. It doesn't motivate any of Reed's actions in the Supreme Power universe, few as those may be anyway. There's nothing about the Thing's condition that contributes to the resolution, unless his "I have a heart" thing was meant to be him mostly accepting of his fate, which is then undone by the very last shot of the comic. And even then, I don't recall if he really did anything in any of the other issues leading into this. He's there for the start, he's there for the finale, but everything in between? Psh, it's everyone else's story. I don't even know if anybody was even really demanding this crossover. Sure, the original Squadron Supreme frequently interacted with the regular Marvel Universe, but did anyone want the darker take of them to meet the Ultimate Universe? I looked up the review quote on the back of the trade to see if it was one of those cases where it was taken out of context, but nope, it was from a genuinely positive review of issue 4, which they then described as fun. Fair enough to people who did enjoy it. You're allowed to have your own opinions, but I am just baffled how this could be considered fun. The characters are annoying, the artwork is quite literally repetitive, and especially when it comes to this issue, lazier than normal since Land didn't even bother to draw backgrounds! Why not just swipe some more shots from Star Trek like he did before? Plenty of matte paintings he could trace. And in the end, the story is just so utterly pointless and lifeless. Nothing is achieved. No lessons are learned. It's just 9 issues of badly drawn fight scenes and some tiny bits of pathos here and there. It is utterly lacking in substance, to the point where even the newspapers have placeholder text in them.
We hope you've enjoyed No Moral Theater, ladies and gentlemen.
Next time, we've got our first Patreon-sponsored episode of the year, as we look at a few episodes from the Superboy live-action series. Gotta be better than this! Hulk, put that man down! How many times have I told you, no roughhousing in the pool?